Hello and welcome to SYN TechForum. So this is the TCP demo, second part of TCP overview. In this video, we are going to simply initiate a TCP based server and client communication between two hosts, and then monitor it on Wireshark and see how the TCP three-way handshake happen and what are the different control plane flags exchange. So on my screen, you can quickly see there is a Ubuntu machine configured as 61.193, which we are going to use as TCP client, and the second machine 61.25, this one we are going to use as a TCP server. Okay, and this is my Wireshark already set, starting to capture the interface. So we are going to and I am filtering it on, since this is server, this is going to listen on standard port 5001, since I'm running iPerf application which uses 5001. So let's start the Wireshark first, and then I'm going to hit iPerf. So you can see server listening on port 5001, and same thing we are going to do. We are going to initiate a client and start the packet capture. So let's go back to, you can see that iPerf test completed 940, and this bandwidth test actually. So I must have data here. I'm going to stop my Wireshark, and same thing, I'm going to stop Wireshark here. So we have TCP traffic generated, and let's quickly go and understand what happened during this communication. So yep, what I want you to look into is the fields here, the sync, ACK, finish, these fields, right? So let's understand what is going on here. This is my server and this was my client. I'll just scroll through this side, and you can see that this is here. We are getting only acknowledge. That means it is the receiver of the data, and actual sender is here because it is sending all sort of different flags, right? Okay, let me quickly sort it through. What we are interested in seeing, like the TCP handshake process first. So I want to see the SYN and ACK packets. I don't want to sort it like that. Let me sort with time, right? So how you sort is also important. So if you sort with time, you are going to see everything like this is my three-way handshake. You can see SYN sequence 0, then you have SYN-ACK, then ACK, finish, push. That means start processing the data, and after that all you are seeing is the ACK coming from that. So let's look at the starting from the first packet itself. So as like any network layer transfer, you can see Ethernet and IP header, that is like one from source to destination. Here 61.93, which is my server, and 25 is a client. So this is the how IP address happen, but we are interested in TCP, right? So let's look at the TCP. Source port is a random port 53,620, but the destination port is always fixed. The destination port is where my server is listening, right? And then you can see source port, destination port, that info, and sequence number. It is a random sequence number, but Wireshark is kind enough to start with 0. But in actual packet, this must be this can be any other different number, random number. And then you can see the acknowledgement is also 0. And now let's look at the flag. So flag, you can see this is flag is set to SYN, and window size calculation started with 2920. This is the initial window size, and no urgent pointer sets, right? Maximum segment size, what is my maximum segment size is 1460, because my IP MTU is set to 1500. So for TCP MSS is TCP payload minus TCP header. So including TCP, it will be 1460 plus 20, that means 1480, and IPv4 header another 20 bytes of 1500. That's how from MTU also you can calculate your MSS. And then you have the timestamp and other things. Then window scale is 7 multiplied by 118. So this is the first packet. Second packet, let's see what happened in the second packet. Source port 5001, destination port this. So remember, first the source port was random and destination port was well known, and from other side it just flipped. So source port is now well known and destination port is random, because IPv4 header is also switch, right? So that's why the port has switch as well. And then you can see the acknowledgement number is 1. So next sequence number, you started with sequence number 0 and you got to acknowledge 1, and then the flag set. So SYN is set and acknowledge is also set. Now let's see the final acknowledge. So what happened here? Again, source port random, destination well-known port, and flags are set to acknowledge, and acknowledgement number is set to 1. So at this point of time, the data connection is established, and then we are ready to transfer any sort of data. The iPerf send some type of data to check the port speed, network speed, and that's what is happening here. One of the flag, you can see that PSH or push flag. So whenever there is a push flag, that means this segment need to be processed ASAP without any buffering, and that's why the PSH flag was set. And then there are a lot of like acknowledgement packets where it was like data communication between source and server and client. So you can see that 61.193 to 25 and 25 to 193, both way communication is happening here. So this is what I wanted to show you as a part of demo, to understand how the three-way handshake happen and what are how the fields are set in the flag control. I hope you like the video. Thank you for watching.